and welcome to another episode of Something Witchy. I'm Laura Cotter.
And I'm Sky Orchard.
And we have a special guest with us today for our Season 1 recap, our friend, Emily Ronquillo. Hi, Emily.
Hello. So excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
Do I have to say long-time listener, first-time caller?
Yes, I require that. Emily was part of our initial discussions around this podcast and actually helped us get set up. So we're so excited to have her with us to go over Season 1 and our favorite parts, our maybe not favorite parts, and some of our listener questions. So overall thoughts on the season, like, was it good for a first season? Were you expecting more? Were you expecting less? What do you think?
I think that for a first season, it is what you would expect from a first season. You still have your growing pains. You're finding what works and what doesn't work. Probably much like this podcast here. We're taking our steps into greater and better things with season 2.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it was a very, good for a first season. At least we got a second season, right?
Yeah.
It's good enough for that. I was thinking about it when I was like writing out my thoughts. I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember any of the episodes. And then I was looking at the episode list and I was like, actually, I could tell you something from at least 75% of them, which maybe is better than I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it's a solid first season. I think it helped that they had some strong backing from the production company to begin with. So they were allowed to maybe play around a little bit more and not have that same fear that some of the other pilot seasons have, where it's like, are we get canceled halfway through? Or are we going to make it through a full season? It seems like the studio really believed in them, which was nice. We talked a little bit on our season finale episode how there was a bit of an arc with the learning of magic. There was a little bit of arc with the will they won't they with Harvey. So there was some nice through storylines. I did enjoy how they called back to some of the earlier episodes at the end. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a strong season.
If I were giving it a grade, I would give it a solid B for beginning to figure out what we have and what the rules of magic are.
I think that's a fair grade.
Yeah.
And we did learn what mitosis was eventually, so.
But did Harvey?
I don't think so.
No, he failed us so bad.
There's no magical trip around the world for him.
Harvey's actually being held back a grade.
I always think about that too in terms of the timeline, right? Because it starts on her 16th birthday, but then also Libby establishes that they're sophomores. Mm-hmm. But then she's in high school for 4 years.
Yeah, so I actually had a listener write into us about this. The 3rd and 4th seasons are her senior year of high school split over 2 seasons. Right. I don't know if it's going to make much sense when we get there that it's very clearly that.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I also had a lot of people write in that there are a few one-off throwaway parts of this that do come back, especially in the last season. Apparently, Sky, we are going to get a lot of references to the plastic conundrum in the last season.
Ooh. So I need to actually remember what number of plastic it was.
Yes.
It was number 7. I listened to that episode today.
7. Perfect. Emily for the win. I'll write that on my arm in Sharpie next to the remember what Harvey said memo.
Someone did ask if you were going to tattoo that on your arm.
Maybe like a henna tattoo?
Maybe if we get to 1 million listeners, then you'll tattoo it.
Sure. If we have 1 million listeners, I will tattoo that.
Watch us blow up in the next 2 months.
You know what? Maybe then we'll be able to monetize and actually pay for the tattoo. So
right?
There you go.
All right. So overall, we're pleased with the season. What are your top 3 episodes then of the season? I'll make Emily go first on this one.
Oh, gosh. Okay. One of my favorite episodes of the whole series, because it's the one that I think about frequently, 30 odd some years later, almost 30 years later, is Third Aunt from the Sun. I just really loved that one. That song gets stuck in my head all the time. It shouldn't, but it does. I just think teenagers should be out there living their best lives, making music videos, and just, I don't know, I really loved that one. Just that whole pushing you into responsibility through a bunch of play. Really liked that one. The one I watched today was First Kiss. That one was fun too and cute because I don't know, I love Harvey. And the other one that I'm frequently thinking about is Dream Date.
Yeah, definitely 2 of my favorites are Dream Date and First Kiss. I feel like First Kiss is just kind of the iconic first season episode.
Yeah.
And then my third one, oh gosh, it's so hard to pick. I really like A Girl and Her Cat, the Christmas one, because it's the first time we get kind of a more sentimental Salem and start to establish him as really part of the family rather than just a prisoner in their house.
Is it also because of Coolio?
I mean, Coolio definitely plays a factor in it too. And, Salem in a little nightgown also doesn't hurt.
The nightgown, that perfect bowl cut on that kid, his little lisp.
Yeah, I think those are my favorite episodes of this season. Okay, Sky, your turn.
Let's see. My favorite episodes of the season. I really like Geek Like Me. That's a fun little one there. I mean, the actress who plays Libby just blows it out of the water there. Dream Date as well. Has to be on my list. Trauma of a man breaking down into dough.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that scene all the time.
And then I really liked The Great Mistake just because we got so much background and it was sort of silly and fun. And I'll always in my mind just call out to myself, halibut ho!
Now, I was thinking about this because when I was thinking about my top 3 episodes, I realized I had to separate my top 3 favorite episodes to watch and my top 3 favorite episodes to podcast about. Because I think Dream Date is true on both of those lists. But I had a really fun time with the Third Ant from the Sun podcast episode. I think that one was a really fun one to record. And the Couch Showdown one. I think that one was a fun episode that we did. So do any of you have an episode of the podcast that's maybe different than your favorite episode to watch? Or is it the same across the board?
I like how just insane we are in that pilot episode because we have no clue what we're doing. And the cannibalism tangent we go down. That was a wild first episode, I think.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of the episodes while cooking. So I feel like they all, mashed together. It's just me in my kitchen and my headphones, talking back to you guys. And so I wish I wrote some of that down so I could comment on that here. You didn't ask me to be on the podcast when I was doing that. So yeah, I really love just any of Sky's random facts. They're helpful. And I feel like I'm learning something, not just rewatching Sabrina, which I love Sabrina, but there's just some extra little nuggets.
That goes into my next question, which is, what is your favorite tangent we've gone on? I actually have mine, so I'll do mine first. So my favorite tangent actually is in the Terrible Things episode when Salem does a throwaway line about how he told an inmate that he was Alan Dershowitz. And then I went on an explanation of who Alan Dershowitz was. And the reason it's especially my favorite right now was because Alan Dershowitz was recently in the news again about something else terrible that he was defending or / he was suing somebody else about something he didn't like that they said. So that was my favorite part of it.
Oh, Alan.
Other tangents we've had, the sword facts ones are the ones that are most recently in my brain.
Sword facts.
It's the last episode you need to listen to. It's good. Sword facts.
Spoilers. I'm not caught up.
I am wearing a waistcoat right now because I'm videoing a sword facts video.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you're naturally just dressed up this nicely at 10 p.m. on a Saturday.
Depends on the mood.
I love this whole thing.
We've had a lot of medieval weaponry tangents.
I'm thinking, is this technically a tangent if we talk about, Funky Song not being a real song? Was that a tangent?
Yeah.
I feel like we've been gaslit somehow. We're in the alternate universe.
We're definitely in an alternate universe.
And it's all Zelda's fault. That was a tangent as well. She caused the Hadron Collider collision somehow.
We did have that very long tangent about where is the cannibalism line.
That's true.
I don't remember that one.
That's in the first episode. That's in the pilot.
I did listen to that one a long time ago when it came out.
We failed the audience in Jenny's non-dream, though, because we talk about the Heidi Chronicles because it's brought up and we talk about the actresses and how we like them, but we never actually tell our audience what the Heidi Chronicles is about.
Oh.
So sorry, y'all.
Do you want to do that right now?
Okay, wait. I think I also listened to part of that episode today. And there was something that, you guys were talking. I feel like I was oh, maybe I just wasn't paying attention and I missed what they were talking about. And then, there was all these plot points being thrown out. And I was like, what is going on? Was it that one?
Well, we talk about the shipping news right before, and we actually do explain what the shipping news is.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
We also hop to the Heidi Chronicles and are talking about the Broadway production, the movie and whatnot, and just do not tell the audience any context behind our whole discussion about it.
We do not. We absolutely do not.
Sorry, y'all.
Are you going to tell us or are you just going to
It's going to be a mystery forever.
We're still not going to do it. That's just going to be the running joke. We're never going to tell you about the Heidi Chronicles.
But just tease us. Tell us you're going to, and then just don't.
Yeah, I'll give you a little taste, a little
Okay.
tease. There's a man in it named Peter Patron, who is a gay pediatrician, who is probably Heidi's best friend. That's your teaser. Season 2 recap. We'll give you a little bit more.
You have to keep tuning in for all 7 seasons if you want to figure out what the Heidi Chronicles are.
Don't go to Google.
Do not go to that Wikipedia page. All right, so the next question, do you have a favorite set from this season? And I like how I wrote all of these questions and I don't have answers for them.
I didn't necessarily like it while watching the episode because I was like, oh, this is quite the green screen when Sabrina has to leap across the fire pit to Harvey. But then you had me build a Lego set of it, and it got me thinking about things and like wishing I had more proper Legos than just the random bin at my parents' house. And so I actually appreciate that now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one was good.
I do like Vesta's Pleasure Dome.
Yeah, all the doors.
No, I'm going to take this back. It's Drell's weird workout room and Jenny's laundry. That's my favorite set because it's so random. It was clearly they just went to the props department and grabbed whatever they could find. And we're like, here we go. This is magic now.
I'm going to be lame. And I feel like I'm going to say the house with its stupid stair. I've been trying to figure out the stairs for years. I think Sabrina's room is really cute too. It has that like, I don't know, mismatched, not full like whimsy goth 90s. It's not just like too on the nose one way or the other. I feel like I was always jealous of her room and that bay window.
Oh, yeah. She lives in a turret. Like, how can you not love that?
Which still also leaves me questions about the layout of their house. I think this also really started just like a childhood, not full obsession, because I don't know that many facts, but just like a love for old Victorian houses. I think they're really pretty. I don't know that I've ever been inside of one. I do have a book that I don't think I've ever read. It just kind of sits on my shelf. But yeah, I am really interested in the layout of that house. Even when you come in the first door or the front door and you go to the left and that other room on the side, like we never go over there and it goes back around. Like you're going back out to the driveway. What's in there? What do they do? How come they're only doing everything in the main living room? You have all this space. Why do I see each other all the time? I don't know. So many questions.
I can't think of a single sitcom house where the layout actually, like they all have 2 staircases.
Yeah, because Full House also has 2 staircases, doesn't it?
Yes, and so does Boy Meets World. I guess Home Improvement has 1 staircase, I think. That house kind of makes sense, but Step by Step had 2 staircases.
I think I didn't live in a house with a staircase as a child, so don't think I was thinking about it that much. I probably was just like, yeah, that checks out. Sure, there's staircases, go places. Everyone needs 2 staircases.
That's also probably a tangent we go on a lot. Is the staircase, the cauldron, and the patio. Those are the 3 big tangents.
I picked up on it when I was trying to binge watch episodes, listen to episodes today, and that did so well for me. But I did notice like Salem's Little Medieval Chair. Then I was listening to an episode and I was kind of picking things at random and then heard Sky talk about Salem's Little Medieval Chair. So I hope that comes back again. I've seen it in at least 3 episodes today. It's cute. But I also just want to know, like, how Salem is so independent on doing things. He was like, I don't know, he was doing his makeup in, like, one scene. Like, he had, like, cologne, and he was, like, rinsing his teeth and all this when he was getting ready for his little girlfriend. But I'm like, how did you pull this chair up to this kitchen sink? Where do you put your things? Like, do you just rely on the aunts and Sabrina to just clean up your mess? Like, put away your things?
I'm convinced that lint monster is still in the house somewhere. Maybe they're buddy-buddy, and the lint monster is moving things around for Salem when the aunts and Sabrina aren't home. Making it canon. Done.
It makes as much sense as anything else so far.
Yeah, truly.
Just make something up and it's probably right.
Okay, if you could pick a spell from this season that you could actually do, which spell would you choose?
I don't know, probably Dream Date. I live in Southern Utah. It's hard out here to find a good date. I don't care if it only lasts a couple hours. Like, you know.
You want some Mando? That sounded so bad.
Is it Mando or Mandu that's like Korean pot stickers? Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be fun. All the time I'm thinking like, oh, I should be doing fun things. I do fun things when I hang out with Laura, which is like 3 times a year.
I'm trying to think what one I would want. I feel like so many of them backfire on you.
Yeah, I think that's the point. We're teaching teenagers lessons.
I did appreciate the butt inflation spell
So ridiculous.
But I feel like if you did that on some people, they'd be like, oh, this is great. Like, I don't know if they'd see it as a punishment.
Yeah, the way they inflated his butt, though,
Mhm.
I had some questions. I want to talk to the props department. Like, what did they just like, I don't know, put balloons in there?
I'd probably go on more dates if there was a 50-50 chance of me turning a guy into a frog if I kissed him.
Interesting.
You'd be doing a service for us all.
Right? You know how many people I'd be kissing?
I do have like a lot of questions about, I know Sky is usually the one bringing up all the inconsistencies in the magic, which I truly appreciate. But watching that episode today, I was like, one, how did they not tell her up until this point? Now she's like, what, 6-7 months into knowing about magic. And now after she gets close to kissing Harvey, they're like, actually, because what did they say? They said that it was any first kiss with a mortal man. So like she could be kissing more mortal men and they're turning into frogs? Or is it just her first kiss?
We don't know.
They are playing fast and loose with teenage hormones, those ants.
Yeah. Expecting your teenage niece to tell you everything. Like obviously they have like a semi-open, transparent dynamic that Sabrina does tell them things. But what teenager is like telling their aunts, I'm going to go kiss this man? Or doing it at home, too. That was the crazy part.
Yeah, they're lucky that it was an enclosed space. Like, what if they'd been out at a park?
Yeah.
And Frog Harvey just jumped away, and that was the end of Harvey.
Yeah, and he went into a little pond with all these other frogs, and then now she has to, like, find the frog in the pond.
Okay, do you have a spell?
Well, first I was like, well, it'd be fun to turn into a cat, sort of like in Cat Showdown. But then the laziness in me was like, it would be really nice to just summon the drinks I want. Sort of like how she summons the milk. Like, if I can summon my protein coffee and don't have to get up and make it and blend it and do the dishes, I'd be drinking a lot healthier than I do.
Would you be okay if it was off-brand?
Sure.
Okay. Those are my questions of kind of the overall recap of the season. I did have a question for you specifically, Emily, about the podcast. It's just like, what do you think that's working well so far for us? And then do you have any advice on how we can get better or things that we should try?
Not to put you on the spot.
Not to put me on the spot. Okay, I did do my research, aka I have opened this document more than 2 times since before recording this episode. I, host my own podcast and I'm very like, I need the notes. I want to know what we're talking about. This is also weird because this is now the second time I've been a guest on a podcast and the other one was only like 2 days ago.
Oh.
And they would not give me any questions or like topics or anything. They just said, listen to our other episodes. I was like, no, just tell me what you want to talk about.
That's scary.
It can still be a conversation and you
Yeah.
can still tell me where we're going. Anyway, I think it's fun. I think like for me, one of the fun things, it's like not too overly personal. You know how so many podcasts, you're just like, all right, I'm just like friends with these people and they're just talking about their lives and I care about them now. I love that you guys don't do that. But I do. I love Sky's history facts, all the facts. Bring me back into the real world. Teach me something. But there is still enough kind of fun banter. It's conversational that as I'm listening, I'm like, I want to join in. I feel like that works.
We did have someone ask us if we would consider doing a Patreon so there could be
Oh.
more interaction with listeners. But you pay for a Patreon, right? Like you'd have to be like a subscriber.
Yeah.
Would people pay to listen to us?
That's very daunting.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I guess we could put Sword Facts with Sky behind a paywall.
Oh. Honestly, Sword Facts with Sky. Shoot off.
It's true, we're only dropping 2 swords shortly, or I guess we'll have dropped it before this airs, hopefully. But I have more swords, and shooting Sword Facts has made me realize I should buy even more swords.
And now it's a business expense.
Yeah, that was my next question. When you say I have 2 swords, I was going to say with you right now. That's true.
Oh yeah, they're right on the table in front of me.
I love this.
Sword Facts.
Yeah, Patreon. I don't know what you would do.
I feel like most of the podcasts I listen to that have Patreons, it's like, oh, you get like the full video of us. And I'm not brave enough to release these videos. Are you kidding me?
I'm wearing my bathrobe. We're not releasing this video. It's cold in my apartment.
There's so many cats.
I dressed up today.
Yeah.
You did. I have soy sauce on me from dinner.
I do have this sweet shirt that's got like a crying Virgin Mary on it. I think there's a sword. There's not a sword on this one. The sword's on the other shirt.
Yeah, Patreon, I think there can be like a $0 level, and then
Okay.
you can do tiers, but it sounds daunting. I don't want to push people like using Meta because there's, meh about most social media apps right now, but
Mhm.
honestly, we could interact with people like on like our Facebook page might be an easier way to like have dialogue.
Oh, you could create a Facebook group.
Oh yeah, could turn our page into like a group or something.
I was like, I'd rather invite people to our Discord.
Oh gosh, a fan Discord. They don't need to see the insane things we put in.
Where there's nothing for like 3 weeks.
Emily, do you ever look at our Discord since you set it up and go, what the crap are they thinking or doing?
I was sometimes because I was still getting notifications. And then my phone was like, you're not using this app. So it offloaded it. So it wasn't downloaded anymore. So I wasn't creeping. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll just go and scroll. But there's a lot on there. And I'm like, I don't want to be this late to the party, Discord would be fun. I just want to hear what other people have to say, I guess.
We do have quite a bit of interaction on Instagram. Like people will DM us or comment on things.
Yeah.
But it's mostly like to us. It's not like with each other. And I'm wondering if that's what people want, is that ability to discuss us amongst themselves.
Oh gosh. Someone else can moderate, whatever that is.
Maybe that's a season 2 question. We'll see if we get any bigger and we feel like the social media is just getting drowned out.
I must say our TikTok has 2 followers. One being myself and the other being Alameda County.
Like the official TikTok for Alameda?
I think so.
Busting out my iPad because that's how I watch my TikToks because I like to shame myself into getting off of TikTok. So I don't think I'm following. I'm going to do it right now.
We could get 3 followers for the whole 5 TikToks I've actually managed to upload.
Okay, but also why is Amanda not following us on TikTok?
Yeah, she needs to push us. She has the gazillion followers.
But you already have 3 followers. I'm not even following yet.
Oh.
Who's Jill?
Oh, Jill's following it. Jill's my girlfriend. I thought she wasn't for some reason.
You have 4 followers.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Watch it happen live, y'all.
We've gone up 25%.
Okay, but Alameda County's got a sword in their logo, so
Oh.
maybe
They're my kindred spirits. River Song is now at the swords at the table, and I'm scared because I'm in her chair recording.
Well, if you get stabbed, we'll know why.
Yep.
You release that on the Patreon. It's just cat pictures.
I could do that. I can upload videos of Mabel all day long.
I took a cute picture of River next to the new microphone setup. She truly is. Sorry, she just darted across my feed now.
This is why we can't release the videos, because it's just us being distracted by our cat constantly. So my question for you and me, Sky, would be, what is the biggest lesson we've learned doing this podcast, or what would be a piece of advice we would give somebody who wanted to do something similar? Do you want me to say mine and you can think?
Yes, please.
Okay. So first off, the lesson I've learned is it's not as hard as I thought it would be to get a podcast going. There's a lot of resources out there and there's a lot of software services out there where you just upload it and it spreads it and it does its thing. The harder part is marketing it and finding your listeners, but actually getting it up is not that hard. But I think the best thing that we did is that we had so many episodes recorded before we ever launched. We had 15 episodes recorded before we released, didn't we?
Yeah. We
Something
need to
like
get
that.
back to that buffer.
We do need to get back to that
I'm
buffer.
so anxious.
But it was so nice because it allowed us then to do more of the marketing type stuff and focus more on the social media aspect and growing our following rather than trying to do that while also trying to record. That was, I think, the best thing we could have done.
We were smart back then.
Jumping in, I think the best thing that you guys did was just did it and started. I know we had that first initial call and then I had to back out due to a million other commitments that I also bailed out of. There was a lot going on in my life at the time. I think I'm just really proud that you guys just went for it and just started recording. I think sometimes it's fun to not have a fully fleshed out plan, just an idea of what you're doing.
I think my biggest lesson is just overcoming. I mean, it's still there. It's always going to be there. Just sort of the imposter syndrome of, I can't do this. No one wants to listen to, what I say and my random fixations on things. And it seems like people actually enjoy the tangents and the weird facts that I pull out of nowhere and, just conquering some of that imposter syndrome that lives out there. I will say one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out is where I put in those goddamn chimes. There is no set actual rule, I feel like, of when I do. Like, sometimes it makes perfect sense, but sometimes it's just like, and we're gonna put one right here, but there was another tangent, but it only lasted like 15 seconds, so do we really put in another chime? Like, true chaotic neutral right there of, I'm just gonna do it now. Maybe one day there'll be structure to those chimes. I wouldn't count on it, though.
2 things. 1, good luck with the chimes for this episode.
Yeah.
2, I think we should have an episode where you just put in every chime. Like, anytime you think there should be a chime, just all the chimes.
40 minutes of the chimes.
Let the chime impulse. I was like, I did record... at the museum, we had like these sound sculptures. So they sound like chimes. It's just like poles of metal. And I would go and play them. And I did turn that into a full podcast episode. I was like, here's 20 minutes of me banging metal.
Ooh, I want to go do that.
So if you want 20 minutes of chimes, I can send you the link.
That can go on Patreon.
It is free on YouTube and Spotify.
Perfect.
We just won't tell you. We'll put it behind a paywall on Patreon.
Yeah. I think it was kind of refreshing to have this be Sky's like first watch and kind of get the first impressions of it. I think that's better than just having people who have watched it, multiple times or have that nostalgia with it. I feel like that adds a really nice touch to the conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Although I didn't figure out it was Sky's first time through until like 20 episodes in.
Hey, I've seen like 10 episodes here or there.
I feel like we talked about that on the initial call.
Yeah.
We probably did. There was a lot happening and my brain's not what it used to be.
Fair.
Touche. No, it was the animated series I know the best, but obviously I've seen a couple of the episodes growing up of the real people.
Yeah.
I can't tell you a single plot point besides the ones I've watched this past. It's almost been a year since we started recording, actually. That's how much of a buffer we built up.
Yeah, that's what Laura and I were saying before you hopped on. I was like, wait, was this a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
Because I bought this mic to record this podcast. I have it on my 2023 taxes.
I can find the Target receipt for this microphone.
Or 2024, I guess. I can't believe that was already a year ago.
It's gone by super fast, but also it's like one of those moments where like we are determined to see this through till the end of the series. But it's one of those things where I'm like, oh my gosh, so it's gonna be like probably 4 years. Where am I gonna be in 4 years? What is gonna be my life? I do remember from that first conversation we had where I was really obsessed with like, okay, but we got to keep it going then. Like we can't make it stop. So like, then we're going to do the animated series and then maybe we do the chilling series. And I was talking about all that. And then Emily, you were the one who was like, let's just get through the series first. Let's just do season 1.
Let's do one thing.
Let's see how much debt we're in by season 7 and then decide.
I was like, and then maybe it becomes a TGIF podcast. We do all the TGIF shows.
Oh yeah, that was... Yeah. Laura's the big dreamer. And then I'm like pretty good with like, oh yeah, dreams. In that moment, I was just like, girl, reel it in. Let's not make this too daunting.
So I'm glad you did.
Because then you'll never start. Because that's my problem is I get like these big lofty goals and I'm like, oh, but if it's not perfect, then I'm not going to do it. So I feel like with this project, I really didn't want to see that happen. Even if I did have to back out, I'm glad that it's still been thinking a lot about, art making. You just have to like do it bad first. I'm not saying this was bad first, but you have to like do it not knowing what you're doing until you know what you're doing. And you have to just do it. And you did it. Here we are at the end of season 1.
I think the thing that was also really helpful when we first started, because I listened to several rewatch podcasts of the actual like stars and actors who were on them. And I kind of took bits and pieces that I liked from each one to be like, oh, I want to make sure we have like this kind of discussion, but I also want to make sure our show notes are like this and that we go in the background this sort of way. So while we don't come from it from the viewpoint of somebody who was on the set, and we obviously don't have those stories, I still feel like we're able to offer a perspective that's interesting to some people. Overall, I'm happy with the format that we have, and I don't anticipate making any large changes to that because I feel like it's really steady and flows nicely.
Yeah, I think that was my main concern because the only podcast that I had listened to that was a rewatch podcast was The West Wing Weekly, and I was just like couldn't wrap my brain around like doing a rewatch podcast without those stories of kind of what it was like to be on set and the guest stars and getting all these different perspectives. But I really, really like what she did. And I'm just going to say it one more time. I think it's guys like extra tidbits of information, because I feel like it does take that to the next level of not just this happened and then this happened and then this happened. Like, you're not just telling what happened throughout the episode, you're adding in things to talk about.
Neurodivergence for the win.
How do you decide which tangents you're going to go on? Do you just, anytime you're watching an episode, are you just like furiously taking notes and be like, I'm going to research this and then this and then this? Do you narrow it down? Are there things that you research that haven't made any episodes?
There isn't anything I've researched that hasn't made the episode besides the plot of the Heidi Chronicles there. But I don't make a list researching after the episode. I literally pause and then take 20 minutes, however long, and then resume the episode. And it's really just whatever calls out to me. Like, Laura got mad I didn't research the cotton gin, but that just didn't speak to my soul. It's the squirrel. I hear a word and I'm like, that.
How long do you think it takes you to get through a single episode of Sabrina?
It definitely took longer the earlier ones, because I do feel like the earlier episodes had like a lot of book names and a lot of like props that or weaponry and stuff there. These later episodes, I feel like we don't get as much, book names or other references that really pop my attention. So hour and a half for a 20-minute episode, I'd say.
So much time to dedicate to this podcast. I love it.
Oh yes, and then there's the editing hours.
Yeah, the recording, the editing, the going to concerts for promotional material.
Oh man,
That went on the business expense list.
it's true. We went to Violent Femmes in like September or August,
September.
right?
Yeah.
September,
Yeah, we finally got to that episode and like dropped that reel we made during festival. And one of my festival coworkers actually came up and was like, "Did you just sneak off and go see the Violent Femmes?" I was like, "No, that was several months ago."
Also, did you see the clothes we were wearing? That was not appropriate for that time of year.
I mean, I was wearing that flannel around the festival as well, so.
But not outside. Hey, should we do some fan questions?
Yeah, I'm still shocked we have fans sometimes.
We have some very dedicated fans, and I love them.
I opened up this document. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, there's so many questions. I didn't submit any.
This definitely came from me a couple weeks ago being like, oh crap, we have to do this episode. I can't think of all these questions. I'm going to farm out this labor. So thank you to all of our fans who provided me with your free labor. If we ask your question, we will send you a sticker. So these came from Instagram or Reddit. The first few are from Instagram. So at Pythia Louise, who was our lovely Welsh listener, who you owe an apology to, Sky, for calling Wales the armpit of the UK.
I feel like I did apologize. And it was just one of those blurt outs that, it's something you hear, and I will visit Wales and appreciate its beauty and appreciate my ancestors from there.
Where's that business expense?
Right?
Can we go to Wales?
That's when we go on the tour. So at Pythia Louise wrote in, if you were to remake the show in 2025 and have it be based off this sitcom version, who would you want to cast in the main roles? And dang if I don't know any early 20s actors that can play teenagers. Like, I'm going to have to think about that one for a second. Okay, what if we did like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey as the aunts?
Yes. Done. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Which
It's
one
the
is
most
which?
millennial answer you can give.
Oh, here you go. Nick Offerman as Salem.
Oh, I was going to say Jason Bateman, but Nick Offerman is so much better.
Now the young children. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm going to have to look up some like Gen Z celebrities.
I feel like the only people I know that age are the Stranger Things actors.
I feel like Gen Z actors too, they also look older than I feel like the Gen X kids did back in the day.
No, that's a real thing.
There's so few teen type TV shows that I see where the teenagers actually look like teenagers.
They're all like in their 20s, playing younger.
For sure.
Which I know Melissa Joan Hart was too.
Most of these actors probably were.
I don't know. I don't feel like it was as bad as Riverdale because the 16-year-olds are actually in their 30s.
Okay, I do maybe have one for Harvey. He is one of the Stranger Things kids, because again, these are the kids that I know. Is it Gatton? Is that how you say it? Gatton Matarazzo?
Gaten.
Gaten?
Yeah.
I think he would be a cute Harvey.
He would be a cute Harvey. Going back, I think that Tina Fey has to be Zelda and Amy Poehler has to be Hilda. Are we agreed there?
Obviously.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
We have to clarify.
I feel like Kiernan Shipka definitely had the look of Sabrina. I don't particularly love the Chilling Adventures series. The first couple seasons were good, and then it got interesting. But I do think, like, physically, she had the look of Sabrina about her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, half these kids, they have better skincare and better makeup routines than I do. And I feel like you can't have that as an awkward teenage witch.
Okay, yeah, but like YouTube was already around when they were born. Like,
I know. I think she might be a little too old, but Elle Fanning, I think, would be cute as Sabrina like a couple years ago.
McKenna Grace is 18 and sort of has that Sabrina look as well, I'd say.
Yeah, that works.
Captain Marvel, Haunting of Hill House. That one was good. Handmaid's Tale, Ghostbusters.
Okay, I will accept that.
She sings, so she can sing Shake Your Fammy Whammy in the music video. Done.
Jenna Ortega, I think, might be fun as Libby. The kids ones are hard. It's just... Like, under Gen Z actors, they're still listing Tom Holland, and I'm like, he's too old for this. I need the younger end of Gen Z.
yeah.
Yeah, they were recommending Florence Pugh as well, but she'd be great as well if she weren't almost 30.
Oh, what if Florence Pugh was like an older version of Cousin Amanda?
Oh.
That question is answered. I'm calling it answered. Unless you want to cast Mr. Poole with another... What about John Mulaney as Mr. Poole?
That would be good.
Oh, we didn't cast Jenny either, but can we name another?
Millie Bobby Brown.
There we go.
Congrats.
Perfect.
You're Jenny.
Great. At Pamela Bailey U asked, what's your all-time favorite episode of the rewatch so far? We kind of already talked about that. I guess we're going to extend that to me and Emily. Is there another episode beyond this season that maybe we're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the episode where all the rules of magic are explained and defined, and the cauldron is used like a cauldron and not for pens. Nailed it.
I'm going to say the one I'm looking forward to the most for next season is Rumor Mill.
I loved the Rumor Mill episode.
I don't want to say much more than that, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
You can't say much more than that. Sky needs to go into that with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like there's going to be a lot of rumors. Maybe a mill.
That one was just so much fun. I also, if we're looking forward to next season, I really like the Battle of the Bands one.
Yes, that was going to be my next one that I was going to say.
And then we're thinking all time, I'm just really love, the last episode, but we'll get there.
I also included this commenter's question because they also included hot take. I like the Rudy Kazudi episode. So we found somebody.
No, Pamela. I strongly disagree, but I respect your input on that hot take. Be proud. Be brave.
Next question. At Rainy the Ultimate Ginge.
Amazing.
I love the username. This question is for Sky. Since this is your first watch, what are you most hoping to happen in season 2?
I think that sort of goes to what I said before, where I just want some structure and some rules. No, we're not going to get it.
We are going to get some rules. I don't know if they're going to be consistently followed, but we're going to get some rules.
Are they going to be contradicted?
Maybe. Probably.
I am looking forward to even just a single time when a potion is made in a tiny cauldron.
A tiny cauldron.
Sabrina's birthday cauldron. That's full of pens.
The one that sits on her desk.
Okay, I thought you were just like, any tiny cauldron. You want that cauldron specifically to be used. Got it.
It is not a pen holder.
Yeah, I would totally put pens in my cauldron.
Kicking you off this Zoom call.
And Emily's never invited back.
I don't know. Have you answered like what you would put in your cauldron? Very vaguely, I feel like you have. Nothing specific.
I have a couple cauldrons. Put soup in them. I put dry ice in them. I've
They're
put...
functional.
Yeah. What you would expect a cauldron to have.
But if I did want to use it as a storage device, what can I store in it that is acceptable to you? Salt? Crystals?
Crystals, I think. Salt would be okay there. My brain's instantly going to like rounded objects because it just feels nice like to put your hand in and whatnot. Like corn kernels.
I was going to say like marbles.
Yeah, I was going to say marbles, my bouncy ball collection, corn kernel.
Some of those like aquarium
Some
pebbles.
pinto beans.
Corn kernels was not on that list.
It would be really great if I had these like dried corn kernels, some pinto beans, and then pens sticking straight up.
No.
In there.
The best thing about the fall is corn bellies down in Utah County. They have a giant pit of corn kernels.
Mhm.
And I tell you, it is the best thing to just lay in that pit of corn. Oh, It's what dreams are made of. It's the perfect amount of stimming. Like, I don't know.
We have very different dreams. Rainey has some other questions. There was one for me. If I could pick any episode to watch again without knowing what would happen, what episode would that be? And I'll extend that to both of you as well. The episode I would choose from season 1 would either be Dream Date, because I want to go in that fresh and I want to be just confused all over again. Or it would probably be First Kiss, because I do have memories of watching that the first time. It's just a lovely episode to watch. It'd be nice to go into that not knowing what was going to happen and see it all again.
I think it's Dream Date as well for me. It's just so insane.
Yeah, I'll just latch on and say that one, because the best part about this rewatch is that it is feeling like I'm watching it for the first time, even though I haven't. I don't know where that thought went. Anyway, Dream Date.
So then the last question from Rainey is, if you could pick anyone to guest star on an episode of Sabrina, who would it be? It could either be a 90s hottie or completely in our current era superstar. And I have the answer, and it is Ryder Strong, and it's 90s Ryder Strong, and I want him and Sabrina to go on a date.
Strong feelings.
Strong feelings.
Strong feelings about Strong.
Because it's weird, because next season she will have a cameo in Boy Meets World where she went on a date with Eric, who's played by Will Friedle, who is like 3 years older than her. He's in college, she's in high school. It does not make sense. It should have been Ryder Strong. It should have been Sean.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I knew of the other TJF shows, like I wasn't watching them. And how I was watching Sabrina was kind of in a weird way. My dad's coworker would videotape, like tape them onto VHS, and there'd be 4 episodes per VHS. So every month I would just get a new VHS tape of Sabrina episodes.
Oh.
So I was really only watching Sabrina, and I feel like I watched Boy Meets World every now and then, but I'm not as well versed. So I had no idea she was on that show.
Maybe we should have you back for the time travel episodes in season 2, if your schedule allows. Because we're going to watch all 4 TGIF shows that happen that night, because the time travel happens to all 4 of them.
Oh, yeah, you know how to get a hold of me. We'll make
That's
it
going to be
work.
a crazy episode. All right. Anybody else have opinions on a guest star? It can be a current guest star. It does not have to be a 90s person.
I want Saoirse Ronan. Like, bring in as like a distant cousin back from the old world.
She would be mom or dad's side.
Dad's side, like
Okay.
witch from the other side of the pond, cousin, visiting the USA. Or if there are leprechauns, she can be part of the leprechaun episode. Drop some lore about these leprechauns we might get.
I think you're going to be disappointed when we get to the leprechaun.
I'm sure I will be.
The only guest star that comes to my mind, I'm not going to name who it is, so nothing's spoiled for Sky, but pops up in season 4. That's the only person I could think of. It's already on there.
Oh, and you don't want to say who it is?
I don't want to spoil it for Sky.
Oh,
I
okay.
will not remember. I can guarantee you.
You said season 4. We got another year and a half, 2 years before we get there. I just saw the words 90s hottie and I said, yeah, season 4 opener.
Season 4 opener. Okay.
Just think Paris, the Paris hotel room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's some crossover there too.
All right. Our last Instagram question. And I don't know why I didn't, but I think this one came through our DMs, which is why I have her name and not her username. So Wendy Rod asked us specifically for Sky, what has been your favorite moment of season 1 so far? And we kind of discussed that, but what's been the worst? And this person says they think they know what the worst is, but they still want you to say it.
I'll say it just for you, Wendy. Rudy Kazootie. Ghoul. It's just so creepy. Sorry, Pamela.
We've had a few people comment that is like, if Sky thinks that one's bad, wait until they see what happens in season 6 and 7.
Oh dear. As long as they're not like giant babies, probably be okay.
I don't think that happens again. I think that scenario's done.
Thank God.
I stopped my rewatch when we started this podcast, and I was like a few episodes into season 6. So season 7, we're both going to go in blind pretty much. Okay, our last fan question is from Erin Rachel Cat from Reddit. They said, I've really been enjoying your podcast. In one episode, Laura hinted at an interesting feeling about Dashiell, played by Donald Faison. Is it that you think he's a good suitor for Sabrina? And so I know this is a little bit of a spoil for Sky. My feeling on Sabrina's dating life is that I wish we would have more exploration in dating people who are witches or half mortal, because I feel like we don't really get a lot of that, of her having somebody who she dates that can fully relate to who she is and what she's going through. And I think having to do that already as a teenager by yourself is hard, but then having to do that while dating somebody who you cannot show that part of yourself to is even worse. So I wish that there had been a little bit more, just over the series in general, that there had been more exploration of romantic interests who had a magical background. I'll say that. Yeah, I'll have more thoughts around this whole topic in season 2 that we'll discuss at length, I'm sure.
Dashiell was played by the actor who played Justin.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Donald Faison from Scrubs and Clueless, which you haven't watched yet, but that's going to be part of our season 1 break.
Clueless or Scrubs?
Clueless, not Scrubs. Do we want to do a little quick blind ranking game? We can each just do one. We don't have to do all three of us doing all three of them because that I think would take too long, but we'll do a little game. So, Emily, I'm going to give you the question. This is going to be the person you would most like to sit next to on an airplane. Sky, can you take notes for me as to who she ranks 1 through 5? Because I have too many other things I have to do right now.
On it.
So your first option is Brady Anderson, the baseball star / spirit guide.
5, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Brave choice.
Okay, next option. Edward, Sabrina's dad.
Maybe a 3. He's giving Gemini man energy.
And is that positive? Negative?
No.
Okay.
Like, they're interesting, but also a bit much.
Your next one is Granny, Sabrina's deceased mortal grandmother.
Is she alive in this scenario?
No, it's her corpse flying back.
Yeah.
I'm going to say she's ghosty, but has form, as she does in the Halloween episode.
You know what? I get along quite swimmingly with some elderly folk, so I'm going to say 1.
How's your experience with ghosts?
Well, I mean, she's not going to complain about you using the armrest.
I, think a ghost haunts the museum, so, like, we're good. I don't think she's going to be up to any, like, nefarious acts. She's
She's a
chilling.
grandma.
Yeah. Hopefully she's got some candies.
All right. Your next one is Principal LaRue. You have 4 and 2 left.
I don't feel like I remember Principal LaRue, so I guess we're going 4.
Well, good news for you, because number 2 is Bryan Cranston as the witch lawyer with great legs.
Oh, nice.
You really just put, like, the most random people in this generator. You put everyone.
Everyone in the generator.
Oh, wait, these were just guest stars?
No, it included the main cast, too. It just didn't select the main cast.
Where's
you.
Harvey? I need Harvey with me. Can he just be my default? Can I just have Harvey with me at all times?
Do you think Harvey would be a nervous flyer?
Oh, yeah.
No, I think he's just chill, too relaxed.
I bet he's a leg bouncer.
Oh, I would stab him.
It's that golden retriever in him, just that bouncing leg, like a bouncing tail. Just.
But he'd probably give you his peanuts or cookies from the airline if you wanted them.
That's true.
All right, Sky, do you want to do who would bail you out of jail or who you get a present from?
Let's go to jail.
Said, let's go to jail.
Why are you in jail, first of all?
Ooh,
Why am I in jail?
does it have something to do with your swords?
Got so angry about a cauldron misuse that I just stabbed someone? I don't know.
All right, you're going to love your first option. It's Carol, Rudy Kazoody's mom.
Now I'm scared that Rudy Kazoody's gonna be on this. Carol's getting a 4.
Okay. Okay, your next one is Dirk the mailman. Are you trusting him to come get you out of jail?
He probably knows the system well. Give him a 2.
Your next one is Skippy.
Is he currently eating a napkin or is he not? We'll give him a 3.
He would probably know some spells.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Justin, the wannabe magician's assistant.
Oh, Justin would be so on top of that. He's my number 1. Justice for Justin.
In last place is Zach, the man sitting on the beach trying to feed you desserts to keep it.
I made a good choice.
That worked out well for you. So for me, it's the person I would most like to get a present from. My first option is Kenneth the cop from the soap opera episode. He recognized his long-lost sister from many years ago, so that means he's observant, but he also didn't see that bracelet dangling above his head in the vent. I'm going to go with 3 with Kenneth the cop. I'm going to be safe. All right, next one is, Princess Isis. I trust that woman with my life. Number 1, Princess Isis is probably a great gift giver. I'm going to definitely get weaponry, but
Oh, lucky. Why couldn't she rescue me from jail?
Oh, and I finally got a main cast. I got Zelda.
Ooh.
But is Zelda a good gift giver?
She might give you something sciencey.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Which works for you.
I think I'm going to do a 2 for Zelda. I don't think Zelda would be a good gift for everybody, but I think it'll work for me. So I have 4 and 5 left, right?
Correct.
Well, my next one is Daphne, who is from the Cat Showdown.
She the one who has the possums?
No, that's Haley that has the Wolverines.
Oh, Wolverines. I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
Haley.
I don't even know if we know anything else about Daphne, so I'm just going to put her at I'm going to put her at a 4 because she might get me a cat toy for Mabel. So my bottom ranked one is going to be Coolio. No. Oh, Coolio, I betrayed you.
That's not very cool of you.
We needed an upset in this game.
We did. Well, that's all I have. Do you guys have anything last minute comments, questions, thoughts you want to share before we sign off?
Halibut ho.
Well, that's been our season 1 recap. We will be back next week with something else.
Mystery.
The undetermined, what was this called? It's still the name of the folder is like the unnamed Sabrina project.
Still the untitled Sabrina project on our drive. Yeah.
So next week's episode, the untitled something.
Some of the things that we have coming up. So like I said, we're going to watch Clueless finally. So Sky will get some of my references for next season, which I think are important. We're going to watch the Sabrina the TV movie that came before season 1, and we'll discuss the differences between how that TV movie went and how the season went and the changes they made when they started the actual TV show.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to do the Melissa Joan Hart Killing the Competition Lifetime movie, which I'm super excited about. She's been posting snippets of it on her Instagram and it looks unhinged, and I'm very excited. And then Sky is going to give us a lovely history lesson on the history of witchcraft in popular media. Is that correct, Sky?
Yes, from the 1900s to Sabrina. A brief overview.
Which my piano students, my lovely Gen Alpha baby piano students, refer to as the late 1900s. Doesn't make me feel like a corpse at all.
The Gen Zs I work with do that. Sometimes they're like, yeah, last century. And I was like, girl.
Is your frontal lobe fully developed yet? No, you're done.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear from you. On that happy note, until next time.
Stay magical.